Welcome to the GNBS In 30, a program where we tell you all about the Guyana National Bureau of Standards and what we do to serve you. Last month, we spoke about consumer affairs and what buyers can do to protect themselves. This month, the GNBS joins with the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated and the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry to talk about energy standards. The aim of this program is to promote energy efficiency. You will learn ways to maximize the use of your electrical items, avoid overloading your outlets, and conserving electricity. In studio, I have with me Mr. Lloyd David, the head of the Corporate Communications Department of the GNBS, Mr. Keon Howard, the chairman of the Construction Committee at GCCI, and Mr. Leon Williams, who is from the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated. I will start with Mr. David, who will tell us about the GNBS role in promoting standards.
Thank you very much, BP. The Guyana National Bureau of Standards has a very important role in ensuring that standards are developed so that stakeholders can have them to utilize and improve their products and services. So the Guyana National Bureau of Standards has established technical committees. There are a variety of committees that are responsible for developing these standards, especially if they are to be developed from scratch, as you could say. There are also instances where there is required for standards to be adopted, whether they are regional standards or international standards. The Guyana National Bureau of Standards has, as a member of ISO, which is the International Organization for Standardization, has managed to be able to be a part of the technical committees at the international level. Right? There are 5 committees established by ISO that key areas. There are 5 committees that are related to Guyana or we find very important to what we are doing here as a nation. And these committees include tourism. Tourism is very important. There is also food, because all of us consume food, and it's important that we have a representation at the ISO level, which is the international level as it relates to standardization. And also we have a committee that deals with energy management and use. And that committee is why we are here today. We want to talk about the standards that are developed by those committees. And of course, the Guyana National Bureau of Standards, as I mentioned, has the opportunity to participate in these international committees so that we can give our scenario, share our input, so that at the end of the day, when that standard is developed, it is a true representation of what Guyana expects coming out of the document. I speak of standards, but I just thought it's necessary to bring a standard with you. A standard is actually a document. It's a document that looks like this. This is what our national standard looks like. And it contains technical specifications and requirements on how a product should be produced, how a service should be conducted, or even the implementation of systems. It has all those requirements. So there are many standards around the world, and standards could be national, as developed by the GNBS. There are regional standards that are developed by CrossQ, which is the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standardization, and also there are standards at the international level. And of course, our leading international body is the International Organization for Standardization.
On this program, we're talking about energy management. Can we zone in on one of those standards relating to energy management? That I think is the ISO 50001.
Yes, there is the ISO 50001. The standard was adopted by the Guyana National Bureau of Standards. Was developed in 2018 and was adopted in 2019. The exact name of the standard is Energy Management System Requirements with Guidance for Use. And of course, the standard stipulates requirements that give guidance to organization in terms of the implementing of systems and processes, which will help them to better manage their energy. It should result in energy efficiency. And we all know that as long as we efficiently manage our energy, a big thing is cost saving. You're able to save on costs, and automatically it will help you to become more competitive. So if you're managing your organization and you're managing your electricity and your power and your energy in an efficient manner, you will be able to produce more at a lower cost. So the biggest one there is cost saving. Also, it helps organizations to properly align themselves with the expectation of stakeholders, policymakers at the national level, where we're looking to reduce our energy, our impact on the environment. So this standard is a very useful standard in that regard. And certainly the GNBS would encourage many of our local organizations, or most of our local organizations, who want to make an impact or better or have lesser impact on the environment to take advantage of implementing its requirements.
You talk about energy saving. Mr. Howard, one of the standards speak to calculations and verifications of energy saving projects and stuff. Can you explain to our viewers how this really benefits them?
Good evening, Guyana. Good evening, Biri. Thanks for having me on this program. I would start, first of all, by saying in Guyana here, we use the ISO. We also use the IEC, which is, it's two different bodies, but they kind of work together, right? It's a non-profitable organization, non-governmental, everything. To answer your question, so that standard pretty much talks about saving energy, being efficient, knowing what and where to buy your appliance, your wires and everything. So it goes with, for example, I would go, if you wanna wire your house, for example, speaking to the man on the street, business owners, what would you do? First of all, I would recommend you getting a licensed electrician that can calculate the exact load, how much load your house would pull, what size equipment you would need. So that standard basically talk about calculating energy efficiency, using compliance and what compliance to use.
Okay, can you give examples, for instance, like if you're installing an AC in a house, a 3-bedroom house, or when you're purchasing your cables and stuff, what is it that you need to look for?
So going back again to that, like let's say, for example, you call your electrician and your electrician said, okay, can I see your electrical drawings? So from that, we would look at it and we would determine load size, load calculation, and we would then now decide the wire size, we would decide the breaker size, the distance, how far it have to go, and that's how we would know how exactly to use. Now, some people would go and just buy an air conditioner for a room. The room, they do not know the exact size, how to calculate the BTU for the AC. So that is when you would need a professional to calculate that for you, and that would help you to save energy.
Other than the AC units, the same apply to if you're putting in a light bulb or something, you have to know how much it will cover. Because I have that problem at home. Yeah. You put on the light and you still can't see anything.
Yes, so there's also a light tester that can test the width and length, height of your room, and then that can determine what type, how much size, what watts you would need to bright that room, to make your room bright.
Can you tell our viewers what are the importance of actually having these systems in place, and if you don't do them, then some of the things that you're at risk to lose, for example, money?
Right, so I would recommend, most electricians we would recommend you to use energy efficiency. Like just this morning I was listening to the TV, and even GPL is advising us that we should buy everything energy saving. Right? It helps you in the long term. It helps you saving cash. It helps, especially if you have a factory, right? That you spend a lot of money on electricity. So I would advise you buying a lot of LED bulbs, buying energy saving equipment, and that would save you in the long run.
All right. Before we go to a break, is there anything else you want to add on that?
I would add, like I would tell everybody every day, use qualified persons. That would help you to save money in the long run. Doing that, you'll save energy because that person would know exactly what type of unit to recommend for your business. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll now look at a message from CARICOM on energy efficiency.
The CARICOM Regional Energy Efficiency Building Code was developed to help property developers increase the energy efficiency and the upgradability of their building projects. Energy savings help offset the potential higher cost of building your home to code. And enhanced upgradability helps commercial owners increase their competitive advantage, saving money over time. Additionally, lower energy demands during and after the building process can also lead to community and national level benefits like reduced reliance on fossil fuel generated electricity across the construction industry and in homes, lower national fuel import bills, which can free up funding for other critical areas of investment, and fewer greenhouse gas emissions. So do the maths, play the long game, and help build towards a better future today. For more information on the CARICOM Regional Energy Efficiency Building Code, visit energy.crosq.org.
Thank you for tuning in to the GNBS In 30. If you've now joined us, I have with me in studio Mr. Lloyd David from the GNBS, Mr. Keon Howard from the GCCI, and Mr. Leon Williams from the GPL as we speak about energy management. Mr. Williams, switching our attention to GPL, can you tell our viewers why it's important to ensure that there is effective energy management?
Yes, certainly. As we all know, GPL is in the business of producing and selling electricity. And electricity is the most convenient form of energy. And so, because it is such an important form of energy, it is very, very important for us to manage the use of electricity. And we can manage the use of electricity through two approaches. One is conservation and the other is efficiency. So let's look at it on the user side first. On the user side, we're talking about on the customer side. On the customer side, how they can conserve on electricity is to not use electricity or consume electricity that they are not actually using at the time or for no real purpose. Let's say, for example, you're at home, you have the TV on, nobody's looking at the TV, but the TV is on, you're actually consuming electricity, but is not really serving any useful purpose to you. Right? So that's one way in which you can conserve. On the efficiency side, you can be more energy efficient once you use appliances that are energy efficient. Right? And as we know, the appliances that are energy efficient, they have the energy efficiency label that is posted on it. So we can, when we go to buy our refrigerator or whatever appliances, we ensure that we look for those Energy Star appliances. Also, we also need to look at the type of lighting sources that we use. Rather than using incandescent bulb, you can now use LED lamps. Rather than using the traditional fluorescent lamp, we can replace those with LED lamp because they are more energy efficient. They produce more light with less use of energy. So that is another way in which we can manage our energy use. On the supplier side, that is on GPL side, we are looking at using different energy sources for production of electricity. As we all know, using the use of fossil fuel has a great impact on the environment. And so we are looking at more non-traditional energy sources like solar PV farms. And right now, a very topical issue is whether we should use natural gas. So those are areas in which we are looking to be more efficient and to be part of the whole energy management system.
On the supplier side, if they use more conserving methods and stuff like that, does this help GPL too?
Yes, certainly it does. Because when you use more energy efficient fuel, right, there's a lot of saving in terms of finance. It costs less. And in addition to that, it is less or is more environmentally friendly, which means there's less degradation to the environment. And certainly with the state of our world, it is very, very important that we take steps to protect our environment.
Okay. One of the standards that we're speaking about today is the ISO 50006. Can you shed some light on this?
Okay. Before I actually answer the question, I would like to indicate that we have a presence on the ISO Technical Committee, right? ISO TC 301, which is the Technical Committee of the Energy Management and Saving Committee. And here locally we have a committee set up to properly represent the country on that committee. We meet often. Now in the COVID environment, we meet virtually. And we are part of the development. We make input to the development and review of standards that are part of the 50,000 family. The 50,000 family are standards that are related to energy management. And so the two standards that I'm looking at this morning is the 50,006, which deals with evaluating energy performance using baselines and energy performance indicators. Now, when we talk about energy, improving energy performance or measuring energy performance, is that first of all, we need to take a look at where we are as it relates to our energy management, and then look at opportunities for improving our energy performance. And how we can do this, we first of all set a baseline, do an audit, and then we take steps to improve our energy performance. And how can we do that? One, by ensuring we are more energy efficient. Two, by conserving energy. And so starting with the way we design our buildings to the way we, how we seal our buildings to ensure that we don't lose energy, the type of appliances we use and so forth. But this here is a more systematic approach to how you manage energy. And so what we are encouraging organizations to do is to take a step back and examine where they are now in terms of how they are managing the energy, and embrace or adopt these standards, and so that they can measure how they are improving in terms of how they are using and consuming energy. And with that, the benefit with that is that one, there will be cost savings, and two, you will be contributing to protecting our environment.
Okay. That is in the last point you made is in relation to the energy management system guidance for implementing a common energy management system among multiple organizations.
No, that is on evaluating energy performance using baseline and energy management indicators, energy performance indicators.
Okay.
The next one, 50,009, deals with guidance for implementing at multiple locations.
Can you tell me a little bit about those guidelines?
Okay. So you have an organization, let's say, with located in different regions, different geographical locations. Now, studies have shown that if you manage energy in those facilities in a holistic way, right, there is significant benefit to doing that. So if you have, for example, buildings in several locations, you could bring all of them as part of your energy management approach, And so this standard, the ISO 50009, provide guidance on how you can use multiple facilities and bring it as part of an integrated energy management system.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that in relation to encouraging organizations to ensure that they adopt this standard?
Yes, there's always a challenge to adopt these standards because it calls for a shift in culture, right? And a shift in culture throughout the organization. And so this is always a big challenge, right? And so what is important, first of all, is to have the intent, right? Recognizing the benefits of these standards is to have the intent. And once you do that, then you can seek the advice of the professional consultants, or if you have the expertise within your organization, you craft your strategy in terms of how you will go about implementing the system. And then over time, you're able to implement it, and you will derive the benefits in terms of financial savings. And of course, you'll be contributing to the protection of the environment, right? So implementing the standard is a journey. It's a journey, but with every journey, you require a first step.
It's a worthwhile journey.
And it is a worthwhile journey. And I know right now many organizations are working to implement the quality management system, right? While that has been around for some time, the energy management system is now emerging. And in maybe about 5 years from now, you're going to find that a lot of organizations worldwide will be asking for you to be compliant with this standard if they're going to do business with you. So what I would advise organizations to do now is start examining how they can adopt and implement the energy management system.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Williams. One of the important things when you're ensuring there is energy efficiency and using conservation methods is reading the labels on your items. Let's take a look at a message from the CARICOM, the regional body for standards on the importance of labeling.
You must read the labels when you're shopping for a fridge. These labels you cannot miss on LED bulbs and CFLs. You'll find them on ACs as well.
The new CARICOM energy efficiency labels will help you make better decisions on electrical items you purchase. They show you how much energy is used by each product so that you can save money and electricity in your homes and businesses. Look out for the labels on refrigerators, AC units, and light bulbs. To learn more about these new labels, visit energy.crosq.org.
You must read the labels.
Thank you for joining this edition of GNBS in 30. Mr. Lloyd David, any closing comments?
Well, yes, the Guyana National Bureau of Standards will continue to fulfill its mandate in terms of development of standards. We are very grateful for the opportunity given to us through the ISO Committee 301, that deals with energy management and saving, where we can be able to participate in the development of standards. There are also the other 5 committees, but of course we are talking about energy management today. So we will continue on our journey to implement the various standards, to develop standards, that is, also to ensure that our stakeholders use these standards, because there's no sense we're developing and adopting all these standards and they're not being used. So we will continue to encourage our stakeholders to implement the standards, and stakeholders need to see the implementation as benefiting them. These standards might be voluntary at this time, but the benefits are numerous, And I encourage, on behalf of the GNBS, all stakeholders to take advantage of implementing standards that are available.
Mr. Howard?
Thanks again. My last remarks would be advising consumers, building owners, to buy the right appliances. Look for the star that signify it's energy efficient. One thing I forgot to add earlier is that cable size stress a lot on energy. You don't have the right cable size, the small cable will get really hot, and that would cause your unit, your AC unit, to run like longer. So that is one thing I must stress. Buy the right cable size, get the right appliance, pay very keen attention to your labels.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Williams, any closing remarks?
Yes, certainly. Just to inform the public that the committee, local committee, we are a young committee. We got started last year, and so what we plan to do this year is to do a lot of sensitization, right? Sensitize the public to the energy management and energy management standards, and also to give them tidbits on how they can contribute to energy efficiency and energy conservation. Right, and so I would like to urge the general public to buy energy labeled appliances and to not leave appliances running when they are not actually using it. And to organizations, I would ask organizations throughout the length and breadth of Guyana to start seriously considering adopting the energy management standards.
All right. Thank you very much. As you would have learned during this program on energy management, it is important to ensure that you conserve on electricity, ensure that you use energy efficient methods. And it was also mentioned by Mr. Williams that the energy management systems, the standards dealing with this will soon become much needed as much as the quality management systems. I would like to tell you that the standards can be purchased through the Guyana National Bureau of Standards, which is located at Flat 15 Safari Exhibition Complex. And you can also contact us on 219-0064-66 or WhatsApp us on 692-4627. The WhatsApp number is 24 hours, so we will respond to you promptly and see how we can help you doing the best that you can do to protect the environment. Thank you for joining.
Standards are a universal language, ensuring the same level of quality no matter where you go. Think of standards as a formula that describes the best way of doing something. The Guyana National Bureau of Standards is Guyana's national standards body, which facilitates the development of our national standards. The Standardization Department of the GNBS works with a number of experts in their various fields, as well as other regional and international standards bodies to facilitate the development of the standards we use. Businesses wishing to give their customers the best should conform to relevant standards. Find out more by contacting the Standardization Department of the GNBS. GNBS, creating a culture of quality through standards.